Hello, and welcome to Khyber Shards, a 5th edition actual play show set in the Eberron campaign world. It is Friday, and we are finally back with a proper KSA. My studio is once again not a sauna. Huzzah!
Yay.
Big shout out to Garrett, the Goliath Rune Knight, and ABC Heating and Air.
Nice.
For real, my HVAC guy saw all my stuff, and we started talking D&D for a while. He plays a Goliath Rune Knight. But his Goliath
so fun.
has hair because he likes that.
And he's gonna start listening.
Yay!
I told you about the show. I don't know if he started listening, but if so, what's up, Garrett? Anyway, we are here with these two wonderful people who came back to guest star in our Dragonbladez prison break arc. So thank you so much, Mia and Laura, for coming back and being the delightful players that you are, and picking up Ilya and Donabella at high level play. This was a lot of fun. So I'm curious. There's a question in here that's kind of related to this from Emily that was whether you preferred your character as a Rubble Warrior character or as a Dragonbladez character. Did you enjoy playing them more as a kid or as an adult? And so I'm very curious about that. So I want to start there.
My mouth is hanging open because I had missed looking at that question. So, Claudia, if you want to go first.
Okay, yeah. So I did think about this. And I think the answer is that I enjoyed playing more this time, but it's more fun to have Ilya as not a traumatized adult. Because this time playing, I was much more relaxed.
Yeah.
And also getting to do fun combat-y things. And rope
True.
trick.
Right. That rope situation was amazing.
Yeah, that was outstanding.
I think I would say something similar. I definitely think I was more comfortable playing as adult Donabella, just as far as playing, but character-wise, I'm always worried about making sure that I play Donabella true to Philip's vision of her, and it was harder as an adult because of the trauma. I get her as the Eberron Tiny Tina. Like I get her, but it's so sad but correct for her to have lost some of that spark as an adult, and trying to figure out where that line is was difficult, but still totally fun.
Cool.
It was really hard figuring out how Ilya would change, because I don't normally play this kind of character, and the amount of caring, maybe is not the right word, but maybe how sentimental Ilya is something that I try really hard to understand. So like I spent a lot of time thinking about how much these things would affect her.
Yeah. No, that's
which obviously is a lot, but like how much do you show that? And it's difficult.
I have to say, the moment with Cadric at the end, that was brilliant. The I'm sorry I missed that was just, it was perfection.
That's
I
good
think you did
because
that was
such
that's
a
a
the
good
great
one.
most
job.
I felt Ilya.
Yeah. Yay.
So Mia and I sat down and built Donabella together. And Donabella obviously has psychic abilities, and so I kind of pitched a couple of different ways to do that with Mia, and that's how we ended up with Psy Warrior. Laura, I know that playing a high level character draws you towards the whirlpool that is multi-classing. So I'm curious,
Mhm.
how many different ways did you come up with to build Ilya before you settled on mostly a ranger and some rogue? Or not rogue, warlock.
Warlock, yeah. I really wanted to get Rogue in there though. Uh, having sneak attack makes sense to me with Ilya because she should be able to
Sure.
do a lot of damage and be sneaky. Okay, so I'm always thinking of Drakir, right? From
Sure.
Unrenewed. And so my mind immediately went to the homebrew that he had
Mm-hmm.
for the Umbra. And I was like, maybe that. And then Philip suggested it to me. So I was like, "Oh, okay." um so I almost went with that. But then I agonize a lot over everything relating to classes.
Sure.
So I had like 100 million different things and decided to go to undead mostly because the form of dread is just so cool.
Form of Dread is a very
And
good ability.
Wait,
also
what was that?
that
Sorry,
was
what was Form
when
of Dread?
form of dread is you like take on the appearance of your patron.
Oh, okay.
So like that ugh, I can't even describe how much I love that. But um yeah, I got really distracted and forgot what else I was saying.
Oh, I interrupted. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Shoot.
No,
Well,
you're good.
I was excited to offer you the chance to play Ilya as a grown-up and to build Ilya in D&D because I knew it was about as close as I'm going to give you an opportunity to build Drakir. To
Mhm.
and I will be honest, the knowledge that this was going to probably happen did definitely play a role in my decision to say that the moon spears and the other surface drow had gone underground and joined up with the Umbragen. That was a fun little nod to Drakir, who I love as well, but also an excuse to let you build Ilya as an
Aw,
Umbragen murder drow, and
Makes me
that's
very
amazing.
what I really
an,
wanted
an
was to
angry
have
kill drow, as we were described.
yes, yes, yes.
Are there
I
any
really
other type?
maybe I really wanted one more level.
Yeah.
There was like it was I feel like that's always how it is though when you build
Mm-hmm.
characters for like one shots and stuff. It's like I just need this one ability and it will make it perfect.
I'm
I
actually
wanted
curious. Oh, sorry.
mhm.
Well,
What
you had said earlier that you'd never played a character like Ilya. So, what did you mean by that? Just her personality, or her build?
yeah. Um I play either goofy or mean characters generally.
Oh.
I don't
That's
I like
amazing.
and Ilya's not mean, I don't think. She's
Right.
just
Now,
Ilya. I don't even know how to describe Ilya. She's just Ilya.
she's pretty straightforward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, I think that both of you did a wonderful job in portraying the both the adult forms and the kid forms
oh,
with these characters and
Well, thank y'all.
and in
okay.
presenting the ways in which they would change given the circumstances. This was kind of fun for those of you that don't know. I gave Laura and Mia a write up of the situation with the Dragonbladez and sort of their history and everything. before any of the episodes where that stuff had come out dropped, because we were going to record this. We were so far ahead in our recording schedule, so they had to receive a little bit of spoilers, but they also, by virtue of that, knew that about Cadric and Ilya's children.
Yes.
Before Casey and Eric and Colin found out about that, because we recorded this episode before we recorded the episode of the campaign with the strike force going off and coming back. So it was a lot to juggle in trying to figure out which of my players knows what do they need to know, even though these episodes, and how do I tell them these things without spoiling more than I absolutely must in the campaign, because of course having two players who are also avid viewers of the show, not wanting to ruin any of the surprises coming up. So that was also a lot of thought going into that.
And reading that list was very devastating.
Yeah.
That's true. It didn't all get dropped on you all at once.
Yes. Yes.
With each new thing, it was
episode.
like, no. And the knowledge that we would have to like be in the watch party and just not say anything.
Yes, we're typing on the side going, I'm dying.
Me and I were typing during that watch party being like, how do they do this all the time? Especially knowing what each person in the watch party was going to be upset about.
Yes.
There are a lot of like after recording episodes where we can kind of predict some of the reactions to things that happen. But no, I mean, you say, how do they do this all the time? I'm the only one who's in there consistently.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Right.
And I can do it because I'm the GM. I'm always doing that. Like I'm always keeping a poker face to
it's a different
reactions.
mindset.
Yeah.
And in fact, we all get nervous if one of the players does show up into the watch party. They show up and we're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Who's going to die?
I don't know who's planning to be, like, because we're down to 4 episodes.
It's crazy.
And so I imagine there will be more appearances by Colin, at least I'm sure. Eric's doing a play right now, so he's probably in rehearsals when the watch party is going on.
He needs to prioritize.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's my opinion on this. I have questions about my Eberron Renewed character, and he's unavailable to answer them right now. So I'm also think that Eric should prioritize his tabletop role playing over his real world artistic creations.
It's tut, Eric. Tut.
He needs to be in the watch party so he can hold our hand when something bad happens to Ari.
I have to play my new Eberron Renewed character Saturday.
Ooh, that's
Is it starting already?
We have recorded. If you haven't, if you want to see me play TTRPGs or hear,
which you do,
Eberron Renewed podcast that Eric runs, you can find on all the various podcasts. We recorded episode 0 early last week, and
Exciting.
that will drop. Will that drop tomorrow? That might drop tomorrow. That's true. That might
Nice.
drop. That might drop in a matter of hours if I'm calculating right, because that's because he held off on it for a week so that it wouldn't be the session 0 and then a dead week before we got into actual play.
That's reasonable.
So so I have to play the character. Oh my God, I don't have a voice. It's boy. Anyway,
That's the
I'm excited.
worst
This is gonna be
part.
a fun. It's gonna be a fun character. It took me. I agonized over the name a whole bunch, as always. But yes, I haven't got the voice down. But yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it is absolutely worst. And it's also like you, and I'm sure that in creating characters for play, you go through this as well. But it you're never quite sure until we're recording, and then I open my mouth and I say something. And I'm like, oh well, that's the voice
Yep,
now.
exactly. Yes. Guess we're doing this.
Although I mean it's not the case, because if you listen to campaign 2 of Ever Armor Dude, I spend the first 50 episodes trying to figure out where Eris's voice is.
It is really funny going back to episode 1.
Yeah, it's not good yet. It's not good at the beginning. I was trying to do too many things with it at the beginning. So I was trying to tell too much of a story in the dialect, and I'm just not a talented enough voice actor to do all the things I was trying to do with the dialect. Landing eventually, it came. I'm satisfied with where it ended. But
nice. I'm so excited to be like, this is your third campaign, right? This is campaign 3.
This is our third campaign. Yep.
Yeah.
Campaign 3.
And I'm gonna start like watch / listening like right from the jump. So that's gonna be great.
Cool. I'm excited to hear what you think. There are several surprises in the first thing that we'll drop, because I don't.
Ooh.
Eric's been busy, so he hasn't actually announced anything. But it's gonna be good.
Yay.
So yes, so check out Ever Armor Dude. We're gonna be starting possibly in the next few hours, starting our third campaign, or possibly in a week if I'm wrong. But check it out. Well, in a few hours. Possibly right now if you're listening, if you're watching, because this is tomorrow. Anyway,
go listen to it and then talk to me about it.
Yeah, go listen to it and talk to Laura about it, because all of Laura's coworkers know about it. Know about Drakir.
Oh, I love that.
That's true.
I love that so much.
We need just a Laura specific shirt that's just ask me about Ever Armor Dude.
I did like when Drakir was on, I did come home like every day and be like, guess what Drakir did today?
Did he threaten to murder someone and everyone they love?
He sure did.
Oh, what a fun character to play.
With the ending of sorry.
No, please.
With the ending of Khyber Shards coming up, I'm trying to deal with the fact that I'm going to have to say goodbye to these friends, because this is the very first D&D campaign that I have ever like just watched fully start to finish, and I'm not excited about having to say goodbye.
I'm very happy with the ending. I'm very happy with
good.
where the story gets to. It is. Well, I'm not going to try to describe it at all, because I'm not going to be able to do this without spoiling something. But I'm very happy. I think all the players were very happy with where we left the story off.
Awesome.
So yes, and I'm very excited to get into the next one here before too long.
I'm so excited to see everyone's new characters.
Yeah,
it's the only upside of losing the characters that you love. Okay, give me new characters to love.
Like I want to start, like that's the thing. I want to start talking about the next one already, more broadly. But I want to not be a distraction from the lovely climax that Khyber Shards is coming to, and so that's difficult, having finished so far ahead of the release schedule. So it is, that's my challenge right now, is I've got all these things that I want to talk about right now, but gotta just spam my players about it instead of everybody else. All right, well, we have a bunch of listener questions, viewer questions about your experience and these characters. First one from Emily. Mia, what do you think Nardley has been up to for the past 20 years?
Um, I was telling Philip before we started recording, I don't know. I was nothing came to me. Obviously, nothing just went, "Oh, it's clearly this." But what I feel very strongly is that she is with the Moonspear tribe and fighting alongside them. And I thought about how she would feel about being a red ring champion
Mm-hmm.
and what a champion is in this world. And yeah, and I feel like it would be something that she would have zero interest in being associated with. Not that she'd have a choice, right? Because she can't participate. But I envisioned her having a real struggle around having to let that go and seeing this thing that she loved and was so much a part of who she was. I mean, as much emotion as Gnarly can muster, but seeing it sort of warped into this ugliness, and I imagine that would be a little difficult for her.
Yeah, I know, I can totally see that.
Yeah.
Do you
Laura,
think?
Oh, please go.
If Gnarly is with the Moonspears and the Moonspears are with the Umbridgen, I'm just saying there's a possibility that Gnarly and Drakir are hanging out right now.
Oh, that's my God.
There is the theoretical possibility that Nardley and Drakir are hanging out in the Age of Colseer.
Okay. Well, I don't hate that. but Dane still has our lady's heart. It's definitely Gnarly, not me.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, totally. Yeah, 100%.
Well, Dane saved Gnarly, so
I know. I will occasionally just recall that moment of Dane saving her, and it just yay. But like in a super non-Mia way, right? Just like chill, not too excitable about it, but you know, she's got a connection.
Right. Yeah. Laura, Emily is just out to make you make difficult choices. If these options were mutually exclusive, which would you rather have? A redeemed Tommel or a living demise?
Oof.
I thought about this so much. But the thing is that, and I'm gonna just assume that Emily's not listening for now. Because I have a reputation to uphold. Is Tommel redeemed? Because like it doesn't feel like it.
Really?
I mean, okay. Philip, tell me if I'm wrong or keep it a mystery. My read on that was, oh no, Colseer, that was totally cool, but he didn't do what I wanted, what he said he was gonna do. So like, to me, it felt like, oh no, if we had the future that I thought we were going to have, that would have been cool. And see, I have gone down a whole rabbit hole thinking this because I'm me and it's Tommel. And what I have determined to find the answer to this, because maybe he was redeemed. We don't know what happened. It's been 20 years. So maybe he's a totally chill dude now. And the only way to find out is, Phil, we're gonna have to have a spinoff.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Tommel. I need to know what Tommel was doing all for 20 years.
Well, I mean, I will absolutely say that part of the delight of creating something like an alternate timeline is it does mean that, you have a thing where in future, if we need to one shot to fill a gap or something like that, you can always like jump over, do more one shots in the Age of Kulsir. We could do like a one shot that is what happened with the Red Ring. Where's Kolos and all of this
Yeah.
stuff. Like you could do that kind of sort of one-off thing, like the X-Men did with the Age of Apocalypse. So it's totally plausible that there could be a Tommel-centric one shot in the Age of Kulsir. But yeah,
Oh my
as far as your question to me, you are reading correctly that Tommel's problem is that Mirren wasn't telling him all of the truth, and that Kulsir didn't adhere to the philosophy that Tommel thought would be the governing philosophy of his domain.
I almost cussed really bad when you said that.
That's so interesting because that's a far less charitable read than I would have expected. Like Glomdy, that's so rational, and it's clearly you put a lot of thought into it, because I was just like, oh, Tommel's a good guy now, and that, it just ended there for me. But
You might have thought that because that's what I say all the time. The majority of the time when Tommel's speaking, I'm like, oh, my dude. But don't worry, because I can always find something in it to spin it for good. So
Sure, of course.
I think
but the answer is redeemed Tommel, obviously.
Redeemed Tommel. Okay. I thought so. And here's what I'm saying though. That's the correct answer, because living demise is not required for present demise, because demise is a necromancer. So you could have an unliving demise still present in the story.
Okay, perfect. I get both of them. I like this
if
answer.
Tommel hadn't incinerated her corpse, or not Tommel, if Pog hadn't incinerated her corpse.
Yeah, Pog really
that
likes
does make it
destroying things that I care about. I mean, to be fair, I care about a lot of villains, but still.
I have to say,
it's nice to have someone who's a fan of the villains.
I didn't have any really strong feelings about Tommel one way or the other, but that one debate, the debate that Tommel had with, it was Ari, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way Philip presented Tommel's arguments, I was like, well, this makes total sense to me. And any kind of negative feelings I had about Tommel were like, no, I get him now. I'm good. That really had an impact.
Me and Eric are, if you listen to some Eberron Renewed, you will encounter that me and Eric, sometimes purely by accident and sometimes entirely by choice, just fall into taking opposing and entirely immovable positions in a debate between characters, and just going on until everyone else is sick of it. There's a lot of it in Eberron Renewed Campaign 1. It's less of a problem in 2, because I played a character who had less patience for debate.
That's got to be so fun, though, I imagine.
Oh, it is. It at least is for me, and I think also for Eric. I'm not entirely sure it's good radio, and I'm not sure it's super fun to be at the table. But no, yes, Tommel and Ari debating was always fun for me.
It is really enjoyable hearing Jeff begging to do something as if he can't just do the thing.
Right. Yeah,
Just
as if his
interrupt
characters
them.
couldn't interrupt.
Just
Right?
do
Seriously.
something.
Oh, I will say playing Eris, who's so impulsive and so unfiltered, was an exercise in just trusting Jeff to interrupt me before I got us killed.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So no, Eris was a really fun character to play. Yeah.
I had a moment like that in the the one shot we just did, where I wanted Donabella to act impulsively to sort of move toward Nasaria, and I completely trusted that the guys were going to stop me. And that was so cool because we hadn't talked about it, but they jumped right on what I was throwing down. Like, I didn't want Donabella to actually screw everything up. So that was just really neat. That was my first time having that sort of at the table experience, and it was awesome.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that a lot.
And as someone who plays impulsive characters, I've gotten very good at properly announcing slowly the things that I'm doing, giving people plenty of time to interfere.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm like, I'm taking a step forward. I'm doing it.
We have a question from Prisoner Kid, who's a new member of our Discord community. So welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Prisoner Kid would like to know, would you rather play Magic the Gathering or Dungeons & Dragons if you had to pick one? So I will go first because my answer is boring and it's just Dungeons & Dragons 100%. I have played Magic the Gathering maybe twice when I was in Boy Scouts, and I didn't get it, and I didn't like it.
Wait, get it as in I don't understand the rules, or I don't understand why this is fun?
I understood
why
the
do
rules a
people
little
enjoy
bit. I
doing
didn't
this?
understand why it was fun.
Okay.
Really interesting.
So I don't have a deep attachment to Magic the Gathering other than, hey, that's really cool art. So yeah, so it's easy for me. Dungeons & Dragons.
I think for me it would be the same. But it's a little difficult for me to say that because Shiv is a huge Magic the Gathering dude.
Ooh.
And from years ago, he's slowly selling off his collection of Magic cards, but it was in like the 15,000 card range.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was so into it, and I'd never played, and then I got into Shiv's life, and he tried to teach me and decimated me at every turn. So it was really frustrating at first to play with him because we were new in the relationship too. And I'm like, what the heck? Why am I go to play a card and he's like, and I do this, that, and the other before I even get to put the card down.
Was he playing blue?
Do you know, I don't actually remember.
Okay.
But my point in all of this is our relationship is much more solid now. And now that he's selling off his cards, I want to play with him. I want to actually learn the game.
Mia,
and
play with me.
Okay. All right, done. That was easy.
Oh, that was so much easier to convince you than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, yeah, no, I want to play it.
Because
I've played a little bit of card battlers now in video games, and I have just a little bit more of an understanding. So I really, really want to play Magic the Gathering, but I would definitely choose D&D.
Okay, I have something to send you when this is done. I'm going to break Darren's heart and also say D&D.
Darren likes playing D&D with you too.
I know, but his love of magic, oh my god. I went like a good almost 10 years taking a break from Magic, so I feel like I could do it again. And plus, I only play like every other month or so, and it's fun. But if I went 2 months without playing D&D, I'd be
Oh,
really sad.
Yeah.
that's a good marker.
Cool. Well, there you go, Prisoner Kid. We are united in D&D. Unsurprisingly, on the show where we play D&D.
Mhm.
But
Go ask a Magic podcast
yeah,
and see what they say.
but yes, apparently I'm missing out on something. And I just didn't get it. In fairness,
And for the record,
I
I
was probably
tried to
like
get Phil to
12.
play with me at Gamer Nation Con, and he said, "No, I'm here to play board games and
It's true.
D&D." Even though
I don't remember
we
that
could have played
conversation. You
Magic.
might be making this up, but
Well,
that
it was in
does.
like 2019,
Oh,
so
okay.
and I
But I do
remember
stand
because
by
I
that.
want to
I
play
was there to
Magic.
play board games and D&D. Our next question comes from Becca. If you could choose one fantasy creature / species to exist in everyday life, which would you choose?
A mermaid.
Really?
That was quick.
Yeah. Oh, because I thought about it a lot.
Yeah.
Well, wait,
Um,
share why.
oh, because mermaids are beautiful, magical creatures, and I think that if I was a mermaid, then I wouldn't be scared of the ocean and I could go swimming all the time because I'm obsessed with swimming. I'm terrified of the ocean. And I
That's
think being a mermaid would solve that problem.
fear of the ocean is called rationality.
No, no.
Right.
Okay, let me clarify. When I say the ocean, what I mean is any body of water that I can't see
Mm-hmm.
through.
Yep, 100%.
So like
That's
like
correct. Well done.
no. Like I'm going swimming the other day and the lights turned off. It was dark out and I
Mhm.
immediately turned into a wretched monster because I no longer know what's in the water with me.
Right. Yep.
And it's the most terrifying thing that ever happens. I need to get
That's
out
absolutely
immediately.
true. And that was the right decision.
Well, I think being a mermaid would solve that. And everyone knows that
Probably, yeah.
mermaids have powers to get legs and walk on land, so I can still come and play D&D.
Oh,
I seem to remember there being like a warlock pact involved in that.
I've never thought of it that way before, and it makes so much sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Ariel's a warlock. Of course she is.
It's true. No, because in our magical fantasy land, we get to make it however we want, and I'm deciding that I can just have legs whenever I want to.
Fair.
And my
Yeah.
tail would be pink, so.
Oh.
Because
Cool.
originally my answer was a brownie so that they would clean my room, but then I was like, that seems a little too slavery-ish. So I'm gonna not go with that one. So mermaid.
I feel like I'm a little hindered here because I'm so unfamiliar with the spectrum of creatures that I'm assuming we're talking about D&D, right?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, I did not
I mean,
assume that.
I think you
Oh.
can. Yeah, I think it's more like, fantasy creatures in general. It could be a D&D creature. It could just be general fantasy.
I don't know what a mermaid is like in D&D. Is there a stat block for a mermaid?
They're not monsters. I think there are stat blocks for like merfolk as a player species.
I bet they can walk on land.
Probably. Otherwise, that's like, what are we doing? How are we playing this game?
Mhm.
Yeah, for me, I'm not sure. I think I like the idea of the longevity of elves.
Mhm.
And I think being able to fly would be pretty amazing. But
Yeah.
those are two different things. I'm just trying to think of the characteristics in a creature that I don't know. Something
I
that
That's okay.
could bamf would be like maybe Nightcrawler, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Just Nightcrawler
Awesome.
exists. I like that both Mia and I didn't immediately went from these creatures exist in the world to choose a creature to be.
right.
Like,
Right.
I
Mia
get to
wants
be this
a
creature, right?
Mia wants a
Right.
blink dog. It's a hound that can teleport.
Ooh.
Teleporting
Fair,
hound dog.
Yeah.
awesome. Done.
Blink
Blink
dog.
dog.
I would go with a hippogriff.
Ooh.
Easily domesticable. Horses are awesome. Birds of prey are awesome. Horse plus bird of prey.
Perfecto.
And better shaped for humans riding them than griffins, which are birds and lions, because I feel like lions are not, and large cats in general are not really an ideal shape for sitting on. So that's my reason for hippogriff over griffin.
Wait, so you would
Griffin was my
actively
second
want
choice.
the ability to transport humans on your body? Like you would
No, I
want
don't want to
that?
be one. I don't want to be one. I want it to
Philip
exist.
is taking the
Because
question how it
I'm
was
taking the
actually
question
asked.
as it's worded.
Sorry. Gosh darn it. Oh my God. I'm just really recognizing that. Okay, dragon. I want a dragon. That is
Oh,
what I'm
I thought you were
then.
saying you want to be a dragon.
I mean, that too.
But
I'm probably missing something about dragons. That's terrible.
okay.
But
Giant fire-breathing apex predator.
yeah,
That's pretty terrifying.
with a super long life and can
Mhm.
fly. That's it. That's exactly what it is. Dragon.
Got
The
it.
I
end.
want to fly now.
Don't you?
I knew Philip was going to pick something with a bird of prey.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm going to ride on Mia's back. Oh, wait. No, you're not the
Hero.
dragon. You have a dragon.
Hey, both.
You can.
Oh!
I mean, dragons are large enough. You and Mia can both ride the dragon.
Done.
Oh, I love that.
With
Yes,
the
yes,
blink
yes to all of
dog.
this. Specifically, you know what? I'm landing finally, and we can move on to another topic. But what's his bucket from How to Tame a Dragon? What's his
Yeah.
bucket?
Toothless?
Toothless?
Toothless. Oh, if Toothless existed, I would be the happiest human.
Would you be human, though? Oh.
Oh, we're not sure.
Because magical
We
creatures would
are.
exist, so you'd be an elf.
Colin
Okay.
and I are about to record, and I never got into that episode on How to Train Your Dragon.
Yay!
We are. This very day, as of the day that this is out, I think, is when we're
Awesome. I look forward to
Yay,
that.
that means we get a new episode soon.
I know.
We do get new episodes soon, yes. We're coming back. Emily asks, and I'm not sure to what degree this is Emily trolling me because Mia is here. But Emily asks, if I was paid $100 per very bleak session of the TTRPG of my choice, how many sessions could I run? Well, as I have said, bleak is not what I like, because I like the presence of hope, and I think that bleak tends to be hopeless. On the other hand, no one's ever paid me to run D&D. So $100 per session, that sounds pretty good. So how many sessions of a bleak? I mean, could I make a TTRPG bleak? Yes, I absolutely am confident that I could create a genuinely bleak setting. I would be fighting against my instinct to add some sort of hopeful note to the world, but I'm sure I could probably dig deep and find the Cormac McCarthy inside myself, and create a truly bleak, hopeless, soul-destroying world.
Ugh.
How many sessions could I run in that world? I don't know. What other things am I running at the time? Because do I have some sort of like palate cleansing game that I'm also running where things are not terrible? Because I assume this is how many could I run before I self-destruct. Um, I don't know. It's an interesting
Ooh,
question.
what if you
Yeah.
had Magic the Gathering or only bleak D&D to play?
Oh, that's a great question.
And you didn't have any fun D&D. It was just bleak D&D,
Wait, I'm not
which is
allowed.
still
Wait, I'm.
fun.
It's Magic
No,
the
it's still
Gathering,
fun.
or I don't have fun playing D&D. In that
No,
case,
no,
I guess
no,
Magic the
wait.
Gathering, because I'd probably learn to have fun playing it.
Yeah, but you'd have to learn how to have fun playing bleak D&D.
So I actually have right here, not right here, somewhere. I actually have a book that is Bleak D&D. It's a setting called Midnight, and Midnight is essentially a D&D setting that asks the question, what if the Dark Lord won?
Mm.
Essentially, what if
Oh.
Sauron gets the ring? What if the Empire kills all the Jedi? What if such and
Oof.
such? And someone made a setting that's very classical fantasy, so it's more in the vein of what if Sauron got the ring? And so the heroes have been defeated. All of the old heroic kingdom, all the classic fantasy kingdom tropes have been crushed under the heel of the Dark Lord, and the world is now ruled by the various tyrants of the Dark Lord. And you are heroes trying to do right in a miserable world. And it's very bleak. It's really is premised on the idea you're not going to defeat the Dark Lord. That is not where this campaign ends. It is just, can you fight on in spite of it? And there's a setting that I kickstarted, and it's about to start shipping, called Broken Weave, where some sort of cataclysm broke magic a long time ago, and it's gradually corrupting the world. And so as you adventure you are a set of heroes, and you're trying to protect this little haven of civilization in the world. And the assumption of a campaign is that you will go through several characters, because inevitably
Whoa.
the corruption of the world will consume you. Like you will eventually turn into some sort of horrible aberrant mutation. So I think I could get some mileage out of a game like that. It would be hard for me to stick to the you can't fix the world in any way. It is genuinely hopeless. What do you do in spite of the fact that it's hopeless? That's an interesting story, and I like that idea to a degree. How long could I maintain it? I'm confident that I could get like a good 10 session campaign before I really felt it. And at that point I would probably have to pause and evaluate, is this fun? But on the other hand, I would have $1,000 at that point.
Right.
And
Yeah.
having $1,000 would be fun. So
Well, it
yeah.
feels like it brings up the question, what is the goal? Like, what's the
Yeah.
story? If
In general, the story is usually we're trying to preserve this haven, or we're trying to preserve this little place where where our people are still. In Midnight, you can be very kind of, it does kind of assume that there's a degree of anti-heroism to it, where it is we're fighting on because spite, if nothing else, to stick it to the man. And that's that could be fun, but it is it's definitely not meant to be a madcap goofball adventure. It is meant to be dark and rough and dreadful. There's
I think
there's a
I would like
forged in the
that.
dark there's a forged in the dark game called Band of Blades, and the assumption is that the campaign starts right after a battle. You're the command unit of an elite task force, and there's just been a battle in which the army of the good guys was utterly and completely destroyed, and the Dark Lord and his undead horde are now advancing towards the last city, and you have to beat a fighting retreat to try and get as much of your army back to the last city before the hordes of evil darkness reach there. And so it is you're running for the walls, with the all the hordes of the evil behind you, and you have to make choices like, do you detach part of your force to go and evacuate this village that you're passing? Do you how do you get the resources to keep your men moving? Do you take civilians along even though they slow you down? Like, these sorts of gut-wrenching, terrible decisions that you make in a bleak situation. So there's settings that I think have attempted to do it well. So I'm confident I could maintain something for 10 or so sessions. If it's Forged in the Dark, it's pretty plays a lot faster, so you could play a whole campaign of Band of Blades in about a dozen sessions or so. So maybe that's the way to go. But I think I could keep it going for a while before it really got to me. But I've never tried that, so.
So everyone, pull your money together.
I was just gonna say that. I would absolutely be willing to contribute to that, because Philip's such an amazing storyteller. And I wouldn't like to see that world, but I would like to see what Philip does with that setting.
I have been trained with 54 books about a bleak, hopeless future in Animorphs. So
Knew that was coming. Paid to run D&D is absolutely the the dream, the work from home dream, that exists for me. All of the other work from home jobs that all of my friends have. Well, I mean, that doesn't mean I can't play in person, like have people over, but all the other work from home things that my friends do is like, how are you not bored? But
I did recently just think if I could get like a boring data entry job and finish really quickly, and then you could just be lazy and be on the internet for the rest of the day.
I mean, that presumably is the appeal, is you just you get it done. Well, my wife works from home, and she does get to kind of set the hours of her work, and gets the things done that she needs to get done. And if she's having an off day, or Colin was up here the first half of this week, and so Tuesday she just decided, you know what, my friend's here, I'm just not gonna today, and she got things done other parts of the day. So I see the appeal. But I'm not self-organized in that way. I think that kind of looseness would get me in trouble as a worker. but I'm very self-motivated in running D&D, so I could totally work full-time running D&D from home or from anywhere. I would go to work to run D&D. Unfortunately, to my knowledge, no offices are hiring a full-time dungeon master at the moment. So,
boo.
Alas. Unless you are, in which case,
yeah,
shoot me a message. So yes, so that was my long roundabout way of answering your question, Emily. I think I could probably manage 10 or a dozen before it really got to me, and I had to reevaluate, is this worth the money? But yeah, there you go, up to 10 or a dozen. And then there's a question from Mia.
Ta-da!
For Laura. Laura.
Oh,
how much did you
for
take?
Mia?
No, from Mia for Laura. Laura, how much did you take into account your and Cadrick's kids before and during the session? Like, had you given any thought to who would take care of them if one or both of you were lost? Who do you imagine their godparents to be?
Okay. I'm going to the question to make sure I don't miss any of it. Okay, I put in so much thought because I think that they are the most perfect, precious children that have ever existed. And also, since we knew about them before we saw them, so I spent a lot of time wondering what they would be like, and when we would get to see them, because obviously we would get to see them, or it would be the most horrible thing in the whole world that ever happened.
Yeah, it would be bleak.
Yes, it would. And Philip is very good at playing children, so I was very much looking forward to it. I knew it'd be adorable. I didn't put much thought into if one or both of us were lost. I put thought into if we succeeded.
Oh.
Because yeah. Philip did really good at making the is it worth it fixing all of this?
Yeah.
Because as I said, these are perfect, precious children, and I don't want to lose them. And so, yeah, I put a lot of thought into how Ilya would feel about going on a mission that would lose her children for her. And it's not great, is the answer.
Okay, I was like, tell us, what did you think?
Yeah, no, it's not great. But like, I guess you have to. Because Philip told me I did. Oh, yeah. I thought about the children more than anything. And I want more of them.
Yeah.
For being who is the godparents, I don't think. Oh, actually, you know what else I put more thought into is Ilya's feeling towards Donabella, because one of the things that Philip included in the little thing is that Ilya had become very protective of Donabella.
Yeah.
So the whole time that we were playing, I was like looking for opportunities to show that, which I don't think I did very much, but you know. Donnabella's a grown adult. It's fine.
It's true.
But for godparents, the obvious answer is like, one of the Rebel Warren. I don't think we could do that because we go on a lot of adventures together, and what happens if one mission goes very poorly?
Right.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty awful question now that I'm realizing. Why did I ask you this? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was in the middle of a game when this question came in, and I read it, and I had to focus really hard on keep playing the game.
Sorry.
No, it was such a good question, and I think I'm terrible because I can't have an answer for who the godparents would be. I need to put so much more time into it. Obviously, my first thought not Ilya's first thought. My first thought would be Tomo.
I love that so much.
Because as Emily has stated earlier in her question, he has been redeemed. I think he's great with kids now.
Goes from being okay harming them to being a godparent. It's perfect. What an arc.
That was the redemption arc.
Yeah, totally.
That's the point of redemption, is I did a bad thing in the past and I have to make up for it. No, I think more realistically, Dane.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Dane's very responsible and I don't think would die very easily.
Now hear me out though.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Lavexi.
Oh my god.
Yeah, okay. When you said it like that, I thought you were gonna say Drakir.
No. I mean, there is also Soleil and Zenaida.
Well, yeah.
Right.
But like that's
sure
outside of this question.
Yeah.
So yeah, idealistically, Tomo. Realistically, Dane.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Well, that is all of our questions. So thank you all to our viewers who submitted these questions. Thank you so much. It's always a lot of fun to dig into characters after the fact through these questions. Thank you so much, Laura and Mia, for being on the show again, helping us tell the very dark side of this story, and just being the wonderful supporters and fans of the show that you guys have both been throughout. And yeah, we are 4 episodes out, so we are excited for you all and you too to see the epic conclusion of this story we have been telling. I am very nervous about the next episode.
Like the next on Monday,
the one that will come out on Monday. Yeah. Yes, because new episodes of Khyber Shards drop on Mondays, and Khyber Shards Answers on Fridays. But if you want more of Mia and Laura, happily, they're available to you. Mia, you can find on Twitch as More Than a Mia, and Laura, you can find on Twitch as Glomdy. Both of them stream video games, and Laura sometimes streams crafting. Laura is a brilliant crafter, and you can see some of their wonderful creations on Etsy at the Lazy Fox.
Lazy Fox Creates? Is that, or is it just
no?
Okay.
Wait, which one did I do?
No, it's Lazy Fox Creates.
Dadgummit, why did I?
You always put in the
I thought I got it wrong last time, and I did it. Yeah, okay. Anyway, at Lazy Fox Creates on Etsy, and I believe both of you are More Than a Mia and Glomdy on all the regular socials.
Correct.
Yeah. Which I have started posting more on.
I have noticed that there has been more leather work and things on your socials.
I got a whole spreadsheet.
I love that.
Of things to post.
I love that.
So you can see how I make things.
That's awesome. I really liked the time-lapse video you did with the dice shaped dice pouch.
Yeah.
That was hypnotic to watch the stitches go into the leather. That was just like mesmerizing to watch that go in quickly. Yes. Also,
and the zipper work.
Killer job on getting those symbols just right. That's really excellent.
Before I painted it looked so bad, and I was like, oh no, what have I done? And then when I painted it, I was like, trust the process.
You knocked it out of the park. That's what you done. So please go check out Laura and Mia at their respective places. And let us know what you think in the comments down below. Check out our next episode, our fourth from the last episode of Khyber Shards this coming Monday, and another Khyber Shards Answers next Friday. And until then, thanks for rolling with us.
Bye.